Discrimination, prejudice, racism, bullying. These are words we hear often today. But do we stop to consider that these are not just ideas, they're actions? Actions that people do to one another. Have you ever thought what it would be like to be on the receiving end? In 1933, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came to power in Germany. Once in power, Hitler rapidly created a totalitarian state. This included the total rejection of democracy and human rights. The SS, Hitler's personal army, and the Gestapo, a secret state police, were created to remove any opposition to the Nazi regime. Hitler was obsessed with the idea of creating a superior, racially pure Aryan society. The churches, education, science, the arts, and the media were controlled and manipulated in the attempt to ensure total support of the regime. Labour camps and concentration camps were established to silence any opposition. Political opponents, homosexuals, people of a different skin colour, gypsies, Sinti and Roma, and religious minorities were persecuted. But the Jewish people, above all, were considered the most undesirable. Massive propaganda tools and anti-Semitic articles in the daily newspaper demonised and endeavoured to dehumanise Jewish people. Jews were forced to wear a Star of David on their clothing, so were marked as different and easily identifiable when the deportation to concentration camps and the killings began. When World War II began in 1939, the same discriminatory policies were immediately introduced in every country that came under Nazi control. However, in each of these German-occupied territories, there were many people who believed that what was happening was wrong. They took extraordinary risks to save Jewish lives, even though any rescuers who were caught were killed and their families were also in danger. People who saved Jews during the Holocaust are honoured by the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum as the righteous among the nations. By saving Jews, they proved that rescue was possible. More than 17,000 people have been honoured in this way.
Do you have any prejudices? A person should not be discriminated against because of the colour of their skin, their age, their size, their religion or ethnicity, their financial status, their gender, their sexual preference. Your personal upbringing, that is your home life, school and work environment, presents situations which can positively or negatively influence your perception of the world and of different groups of people. Looking back at history, we can see that individuals of all ages, all races and all persuasions have been able to make a difference by standing up to discrimination and persecution, especially of minority groups. Oskar Schindler helped protect and save hundreds of his Jewish workers during World War II. Martin Luther King Jr. made his "I Have a Dream" speech for equal rights for African Americans. Nelson Mandela was arrested for leading peaceful protests against the white minority's oppressive regime in South Africa. Malala Yousafzai was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of her courage and her leadership in campaigning for the right for women and girls everywhere to receive an education. Individually and together as a community, we can work towards breaking down barriers by promoting acceptance of people from all walks of life. Each person can make a difference.
I'm going to head into town for a meeting.
I'll see you soon.
So where's he going now? Is he going walkabout again?
Thanks everyone. That's the end of the meeting for today. What I want to say just before we finish is congratulations to Mary over here. As we all know, Mary got the job in management and she'll be starting on Monday, so congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Thanks for the recognition.
She's management's token female.
Grab a cup of coffee later.
Yeah.
And talk about that project that we've got to do at work.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Ok, không biết rồi. Không biết rồi.
He could at least learn to speak English.
Although the examples just shown can't be compared with the atrocities faced by the Jewish people during World War II, there may come a time when you might require the courage to speak up. To speak up on behalf of people who've become victims, not because they've done anything wrong, but simply because of who they are, because of their religion, race, ethnicity, gender, class, or sexual orientation.
Did you know that you can make a difference?
What does it mean to have the courage to care? It means you have a willingness to act, to question instances of racism, intolerance and discrimination, and to challenge what you intrinsically know is wrong.
It means you will no longer be a bystander. Instead, you will understand and recognise that your individual acts of courage, social activism, actions against apathy and sense of empathy have the ability to make a difference in your community. We all have choices. Where do you stand?
It's up to you.